Welcome everyone, TheDailyWoo here, as the recording of the Sunday, July 28th, 2024, the final day, Midsummer Scream. We're running a little late. The Knott's Scary Farm panel starts in about 10 minutes. So we're heading in. I'm inviting you to join me. And Kevin.
We're here. We're here. This is the biggest day. We got HHN, we got Knott's. We're just running a little late. We got this.
We're running a little late. Traffic was something. Parking something. Join me. Shall you? We're going in. Get our hustle on. All right, there's a lineup up there. I guess that's probably the Knott's panel line. Right there. Starts in 16 minutes.
Once again this Halloween, as fans flow through the gates to celebrate the 51st season of Knott's Scary Farm.
I even wrote a show that never performed, which I thought was great. We did a show in 2012 called Mephisto's Mechanical Mayhem, where the whole gag was
the performer dies.
He dies right before the show starts, and people would just get mad that they waited for a show to get
It was on the map and everything. People would wait for a show and the performer died.
That was very funny. Thank you. So yeah, Scary Farm is about this whole experience, right? You go thinking I'm going to hit all the mazes, then you see a show, and when you get home, the mazes and the stuff that you wanted to see were great, but the stuff that surprised you that you didn't know, that's the stuff you really remembered. I wasn't expecting that.
Usually that's where the fun is usually at, is it's the least expecting. So last year, speaking of unexpected returns and things, we brought back the hanging. So
It started on Calico Square, which doesn't even exist anymore. It moved to the Calico Mine stage, and we reached a point in pop culture where people just lost their sense of humor, and people would just watch the show and get upset and write all these terrible things. And I got all these nasty phone calls one year about the show, which was fun. And then we decided we could bring it back for the big 50th anniversary, right?
So we brought it back, and how was that experience, and how was it received?
It was fantastic, I'll tell you. Me and Ken worked on the script for about a year. We knew a year out that we were going to do it. It kept constantly changing. But the real magic element to it was putting it in a wagon cab. Because now suddenly you couldn't just walk by and see the show. You couldn't have your IC and go, what did they just say about Justin Bieber? What? I'm going to write a letter. Instead, you had to come in.
And you had to know you were going to get offended by coming in.
We had a sign out front that said, if you're one of those people that gets mad and writes crap on the internet, get the hell out. We don't want you And the best part, if you remember last year, we didn't even use a noose. There was not a noose ever on the gallows. Instead, they used the no blue necklace.
It'll fit in perfect. It's going to look great. And so he's like, okay. So I have someone on my team who is amazing with electronics, and he's like, let's turn it into a lantern activation. So it just grew and grew. It may or may not be getting an upgrade this year as well.
It's pretty soon going to be the entire zone. I can see it now. Walk through Forsaken Lake.
Yes.
It's huge. It is. And I'll be honest, I thought it was going to be like a coffee shop.
It does. It's the size of this one.
I walk by and I'm like, I can't wait to buy a Frappuccino.
In the fog, I used to run all of Knott's Scary Farm's social media, and I wanted a tag out at the end. So I just started writing over a decade ago, see you in the fog, ... And at live events, that's how I ended the show. See you in the fog. And I would say it. And then last year, this showed up at Universal. So of course somebody sent me one, so I have to wear it.
It's the best shirt you're wearing today.
So good.
Back over to the zipper sounding elevators. So we had to go back to the car because Kevin had to dump his footage into his laptop from the Knott's.
Yes.
And now this is your moment. You waited all year.
HHN panel. We're hoping for big announcements. We're going to probably get, should we spoil what we think is coming?
Go for it, yeah.
Probably The Weeknd, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then Tear Tram Blumhouse.
Not just
that's where rumors and speculation.
Not just Texas Chainsaw, but 74 Chainsaw, which just happens to be.
We don't know which one.
Oh.
It's all rumored and speculation.
Okay,
we don't know what it's. Yeah.
Well, we're after the panel. See what Murdy has to say. But I was just saying, this is like your Super Bowl every year. This is the thing you look forward to
in the front row
every year. as long as the elevator opens. And back inside, this will be the last time going through the entrance again for this year's, because after this panel's over, we'll be exiting out these doors and we'll not be back for another year. Possibly next year, but I don't think that far off in that. Who knows? Oh dang, is this the regular line for the HHN panel right here? I think it is. Get to stand out here, out in the elements, in the sun. Someone on stilts. So what is this, Kevin?
An hour and a half. This is general admission.
Okay.
That they're just waiting for the HHN panel.
Okay. So we got the gold bat line, and then you have the general admission line. So an hour and a half of standing out in the sun.
Yeah.
That's rough. I don't remember this last year coming out like this. This convention, they sell an extra, they sold out. But you could purchase an extra gold bat. I think it was like, I don't know, another $60, $70 for the whole weekend for the gold bat, and that gets you front of the line for all the haunted houses I showed yesterday, and also gets you in early access to the panels. What was the difference in the price? Like $120 for this?
It's a bargain.
Yeah.
It's too good of a price.
So like half the price, you're standing in all the lines.
Yeah.
Some of the
Haunted
houses
houses, like a minute-long wait, you're like on. Yeah.
versus 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And you're definitely going to get into the panels with this, with that. If the room fills up, might be standing room, or maybe you're just out of luck. So definitely I'd recommend getting this when they go on sale if you choose to come to this at some point. All right, it's 3:32 right now. The HHN panel's at 5. I don't know if they're letting people in now to pre-seat or if it's another panel. I think possibly this crowd here is waiting. Oh, Horror Nights, you gotta go downstairs. This is, so everyone's gotta go downstairs. I don't think anyone's gonna be leaving this area though. All right, now they have had the HHN panel line up. Gold bat, right over here, lined up, starting on the backside of the inflatable cats here. And we're getting mooned by the inflatable cats. That's the big one, the last one of the day.
Looking for? No, for HHN.
All right, Peter, since you're wearing a Universal Studios Hollywood shirt like I am, Horror Nights, do you think anything is going to be announced?
I think we're going to find out what the Terror Tram is.
Okay. What do you want to be announced?
I want a Jurassic Park maze.
What?
I mean, that would be pretty cool.
Okay.
Gremlins maze, and then put it on the back lot.
Wait, Gremlins is Warner Brothers.
They can license it.
We'll shout it out to Murdy.
But wouldn't that be awesome?
I would love that.
If you could actually be in the courthouse square and then like you enter the Gremlins maze.
That would be awesome.
That's not going to happen.
What do you think is going to happen?
I think they're going to announce a new Slash song, and then they're going to play the first 8 minutes of it on stage.
Are you guys excited for Slash?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And the fact that they're releasing the album with all the music on it, finally on vinyl.
What do you all think is going to be announced? Anything?
Honestly, I think Terror Tram.
There should have been a female lead doing the rock guitar. It should have been her music for the all-female house. I digress. It is what it is.
Okay.
But they should have had a black Filipina rock lead, keep up with the times. But Slash is cool for the 10th.
Yeah. Well, we're going to find out in less than an hour.
I hate everything about the choices, but it's fine.
All right, I think the last panel is exiting. So this is the panel that just happened. Now the next panel is the HHN panel. So everyone that's in there is being made to leave. What do you think the percentage of the people that were in there thought they'd be able to stay in there?
Oh, over half.
People do that all the time.
Over half.
30%.
Some sad faces being made to leave out of there.
The whole town is on the clock for it.
I actually considered on going into that panel and trying it too, and I'm glad I didn't, because it wouldn't have worked out well for me.
What was the panel in there?
That's 13th floor.
Oh.
How was it? I can tell that they're like, I was saying, no, it's even faster.
For general admission, main lobby.
Going in. Into the grand ballroom. Control your excitement. Control your excitement. It's okay.
Controlling it.
Alright, what's the game plan here, Adam?
Get to as close as we can.
Following you.
Everybody in here, our fire marshal from the wonderful city of Los Angeles, part of Palm Beach, is going to keep an eye on everybody. So raise your hand. All right, come on in, folks. Get close. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage the founders and executive team of Midsummer Scream. Executive Director, David Markland. Executive Producer, Gary Baker. Producer, Claire Dunlap. And Creative Director, Rick West.
Hey everyone, another full house at the end of Midsummer Scream for Halloween Horror Nights. You know, I was reminded yesterday that this is definitely a Halloween horror crowd because we had fire alarms going off for an hour and everybody was like, eh.
So in 2016 made a verbal contract with you, so I just got to check in. Long Beach, have we done you proud? Perfect. Thank you guys so much for spending your weekend with us. It's wonderful to be here and to see everybody this weekend. And I got to shout out to all the haunters in the Hall of Shadows. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Are you all exhausted? We're here at the finish line. Are you tired? Your legs are exploding. You spent all your money on the vending show floor.
Yep.
And we're wrecked from playing the fire alarm drinking game yesterday. So wonderful. You guys ready for some Halloween Horror Nights?
Yeah.
Next year?
Yeah!
Happy Halloween, everybody.
While recording of this presentation is allowed, we do ask that your camera or streaming device remain at or below shoulder level, not blocking the view of anyone behind you.
Got all that?
Thank you for your cooperation and for being considerate of those around you. Enjoy the show. Welcome to Midsummer Scream. Each year, our little spook show draws visitors from all over for a weekend of haunts and horror. And one visitor in particular comes an extra long way to be with all of you.
Where's he coming
proving
from?
that this community truly is universal. Bringing the evil from the Emerald Isle, please welcome to the stage the one, the only creative director and executive producer of Universal Studios Hollywood's Halloween Horror Nights, John Murdy.
I'm going to chant all of your names. Just yell them aloud. How you guys doing today? I'm John Murdy. I'm the creative director, executive producer of Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Hollywood. Welcome back to Midsummer Scream. We got a lot of stuff to show you guys today, but you guys know how this starts, right? Well, no, actually it starts like this, okay? Thank you. That's a tradition, you know what I mean? No, seriously, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's the fans of Halloween Horror Nights that fuel our passion for the event, that make ourselves and our team want to top ourselves every single year. We appreciate all that support, so thank you so much. And do we have in the house, do we have any team members from Halloween Horror Nights? Anybody? Stand up, stand up. It takes a village to do this event. It's not me. It's all of these people who work on this event, all the men and women who work on this event, year after year after year. It's their passion to give it up for them. All right. What should we do? By the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes. You guys ready for an announcement right out of the gate here? Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the legacy of Leatherface, is coming to Halloween Horror Nights 2024. Let's go!
Dang, I was hoping for the 74 one, but I guess Legacy works too.
Now I know what you're thinking. Has Texas Chainsaw Massacre ever been featured in Halloween Horror Nights in the past? Yeah. Yes, it has. What we're going to take you through today, and I'm going to do a deep dive into Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the legacy of Leatherface. This is an all-new experience. I'm going to show you why. But first, a short history lesson on the original 1974 classic film. Quick personal story. You see this scene? What's the scene?
The dinner scene.
Yeah, the dining room, the dinner table scene. That particular year, I brought my father-in-law and my mother-in-law from Ireland to Halloween Horror Nights for the first time. When we got to the scene, the path goes around to the left. My father-in-law, he'd never been in a haunted house. He went around to the right and he sat down in that bone chair and he just started chatting up Grandpa. And he says these lines, "My family has always been in meat." What's he talking about? The slaughterhouse. He says, oh, there was, I used to work at the slaughterhouse, and my brother did, and my grandpa. And I thought to myself, you never see that in the original film. They talk about the slaughterhouse, but you never see it. So what we decided to do was to create an alternate timeline. This is where it gets real heavy, okay? So follow me. We decided to create an alternate timeline that runs parallel to the events in the 1974 film, but that takes place entirely at this location you've never been to, the slaughterhouse. Because if I know the Sawyer family from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I do, I know that if there's a slaughterhouse that they all used to work at that's been sitting there abandoned, they're probably doing something with it, right? You were first. I had to come up with a way to tell this backstory, right? I think I switched from like the hitchhiker to Chop Top halfway through, but thank you, appreciate that. So this is the facade. The facade is the abandoned slaughterhouse. It's been sitting empty for a couple of decades, ever since the contracts dried up after World War II, Korea.
Hooper and
it closed. It was surrounded by fences. But the Sawyer cattle prod, and he's going to be prodding you to the Stunner, which in this case is going to be Leatherface from the 2003 remake. He's up on a platform. He's got a big sledgehammer, so Chop Top's setting him up. Leatherface is knocking him down. Generation, this weird version of the old woman mask that exists in that film. And the old man is yelling at Leatherface, "Leatherface, stop gacking at them girls! Them beefs needs turning!" And they're on either sides of you. You're in the middle. They both have paddles they want to whack you with. He's screaming at his brother, Leatherface. "Leatherface, you idiot! You gummed up the works again! Get down here and take out the string trap!" This is a water scene. You've seen our water scenes, right? So, Gook is pouring in through these big drains, filling up the floor with not really water. It's kind of like stew. It's like got body parts in it, and it's thick, and it's bubbling, and it's oozing, and it smells delightful. Did you guys think Exorcist smelled bad last year? I apologize in advance for the olfactory sensation you are all going to experience. That was Tobe Hooper. Tobe made that. First horror movie I ever went to in a theater, Poltergeist. Tobe Hooper, right? Tobe made some of the most iconic horror movies ever in the genre of horror. And one thing about Tobe is, people always ask me, like, when did you know Horror Nights in Hollywood when we brought it back in 2006, when it was here to stay? That's the moment, right there. The one day all of a sudden Tobe Hooper showed up. Started in 2018 with Universal Monsters. This is the 6th that we have done at Universal Studios Hollywood, and this one is called Universal Monsters Eternal Bloodlines. Why? Because this dude killed her dad. Do you remember the end of Dracula? He drives a stake through the heart of Dracula, and that's it. So Dracula's daughter is on a vendetta to wipe out the Von Helsing family in for exactly, 5 minutes, right? It's so great that the bride has continued to live despite her entire film career being 5 minutes. But we thought, okay, cool, let's take that farther. So when she gets fully transformed, she looks like this.
Yeah, that's cool.
So this is the look of our female mummy in our experience. You recognize the amulet of Ra that she's wearing around her neck. That's a throwback to our 2022 house, Universal Monsters Legends Collide. That's what the mummy was wearing. It's mentioned in the book and the movie called The Borgo Pass. We've added our own touches to this, little Van the Impaler influence of all these impaled corpses. They're getting out of the black coach and they're getting ready to go to Dracula's castle to face this threat. Of where this house is, because it's really cool. Stage 12 on the Universal front line. Why is this cool? Well, to tell you why this is cool, it's time for a history lesson that's slightly longer than the previous slightly longer history lesson. Okay, what I want to do today, seriously, I just want to take you through the highlights of all the amazing films that have shot inside the soundstage, because this is ground zero, not only for the American horror film, but for movie making in general, because this stage was built in 1928, okay, with horror. We're going to bring it back to horror right now, because in 1931, stage 12 was used to build the interior of Dracula's castle. You know this scene, right? Not only is this one of the most famous movie lines in all of horror movie history, it's one of the famous movie lines in all of movie history. Children of the night, what music they make. That was uttered inside stage 12. And I brought this little treat from our archive. We still have the original set drawing in our archive. This is from 1931. This is from Dracula. This is the production designer's sketch for what that set would look like. And then in the same year, in 1931, it was used again for Frankenstein. This was Dr. Frankenstein's lab. That's where that was shot. One of the most famous scenes in movie history, not only horror movies, but all of movies, It's Alive. That happened inside the soundstage. And then in 1935, it was used for The Bride of Frankenstein. Frankenstein is all eager to have his friend, and he goes and puts a hand on her, and she hisses at him like a cat, and then he says the immortal line as he puts his hand on the lever, "We belong dead." Pulls the switch, blows the castle to hell. That's all stage 12. So moving on, into the 1950s, it was used for a famous Jimmy Stewart movie called Harvey, right? And I know at this point in the tour, you're going, what does that have to do with horror? It was used for the interior of the Harvey Mansion. Why does the Harvey Mansion have anything to do with horror? This is why. That's the same set, the exterior of the Harvey Mansion on Colonial Street, right? On the Universal backlot. Does that top of that house look familiar? Psycho. That was a stock set, stock unit set that was later, used for Psycho as well. That when I first started coming to Universal, that house was there. I can remember that as a kid. Because I'm so old. And then moving on into the 1980s, again, another musical, The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds. The Chicken Ranch set for that film was originally built inside stage 12. It was designed to open like a dollhouse so they could film exterior scenes and interior scenes. And I know what you're thinking, what does this have to do with horror?
House of 1,000 Corpses.
Well, that set's still there, kids. Have you seen it? sitting out on the back lot at Universal. We call it the Chicken Ranch. That's the same house Rob Zombie turned into the House of 1,000 Corpses. The reason that clown was called Sweet Licks is because it's painted right on that ice cream van. I didn't have to change it. And it later became Hollywood Harry's van. It became Larry Larva's van. And this year it's getting a complete remodel. Note to self, this hasn't been announced. It's getting a complete remodel for something I can't talk about. All right, moving on. Or, you know, you can imagine Boris Karloff having a toasty, the Bride of Frankenstein checking her makeup in a mirror. This is all stage 12. This is ground zero for the American horror movie, right? And it's tied to so much film history. So I hope you guys appreciate it when you get to go see Universal Monsters, Eternal Bloodlines, inside the world famous House Stage 12. How about another announcement? Let's talk about the music of the Monsters. But wait a minute. Has this been announced yet?
Yeah.
Slash. Now Slash is coming back again to do his 6th score for Universal Monsters. You want? You're not shy about it. And the one thing that I've heard over and over and over is, when are you going to do like an album with the music from Universal Monsters? For the first time ever, this year at Halloween Horror Nights, you'll be able to get a limited edition vinyl album featuring selections of all of the different houses that Slash has done up until this point. This is the interior, you know, you open up the album, this is the inside. Features all of Crash's iconic artwork. I wrote the dedication. Stacy Quinalty on our team, who works with Slash and does co-writes the music, arranges it, produces it. He remastered all of these tracks, especially for vinyl. So this year, you will finally get that album that you've been asking me for years and years and years. All right. Should we announce the Scare Zone?
Yes!
All right. Luchadores Monster Awesomes is coming to Halloween Horror Nights. All right, credit, and I don't know, he might be in the audience. Pat, are you here? Pat Quinn. And what it's inspired by is luchador cinema. Do you guys know what that is? It's a specific genre of horror that is specific to Mexico, really. Particularly in the 60s and 70s, from the very people that make luchador wrestling costumes, so everything's authentic. This is the Blue Death. This is his tag team partner, the Green Devil. And then there's the Bad Monstros.
Oh, wow.
The Cave Monster, who's not Frankenstein. But he kind of looks like him. The Horror Wolf, who's not the Wolf Man.
No.
But he kind of looks like him. It's in the spirit of these movies.
I gotta have a shirt with that Frankenstein.
The Water Demon, who's not the creature of the Black Lagoon. But he kind of looks like him. The Bruja, the Witch. The Skeleton Man.
That's awesome. That's so good.
The Night Zombie. And our still walking character, the Bat. And here's the whole cast. Thank you, by the way, because I owe that to you guys too. It was you who got us doing this in the first place. Years ago, back in 2009, I think, a fan, more than one, came up to me and were like, why don't you do La Llorona? And I had no idea what that was, because it wasn't something I grew up with in my culture. But I started researching it, and I started getting into it, and I realized, wow, this is amazing. It's so Los Angeles. It's so representative of our community in Los Angeles. And so we've really been focusing on this the last few years in particular, but really the credit is for you guys for suggesting it, so thank you. Little sneak peek. This is the sculpt for the Skeleton Man, and this is what his finished mask look like. This is a partnership with Immortal Masks. They might be here today, but they do our silicone masks for the event, and they created some amazing masks for this one. We're also creating original artwork, luchador posters in the style of that artwork from the 50s, 60s. This is just a few examples. Note to self. Oh, God, you're not supposed to see that. I'm sorry. All right, it's fan appreciation time. And an exclusive behind-the-scenes tour with yours truly of a house of my choosing, which is going to be the closest house it takes me to get to before the next place I have to go to. But we're going to give that away. We've been doing this every year of Midsummer Scream, and before I do that, I wanted to give it up to the people who create, produce, run Midsummer Scream. They're an amazing group of people. They do an amazing job. It's a pleasure to do this show every single year. Again, I want to give it up to you, the fans of this event. Your support through the years means so much to not only myself, but all the men and women who work on Halloween Horror Nights all year long to bring it to life. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So there's always a trivia question, right? You guys ready? Wait for it. There is no trivia question this year. I'm giving those tickets away to my family. No, I'm just kidding. No, there seriously is no trivia question this year, because I thought about this right before I came over for this show. I thought, this show is all about the spirit of home haunts, right? And earlier today I did a panel called Home Haunt to Pro Haunt with a bunch of different people in our industry talking about how we started out. So I have a question for you. How many home haunters are in the audience? If you're a home haunter, keep your hand up. Okay. And do we have, and be honest, any of you that do home haunts, is one of your kids the driving creative force in what you do? Yeah? Keep your hand up if it's true. Okay, pointing over here. All right. Come on up. Right there where you're pointing. Come on up. I don't think you can actually get on stage because there's no steps. What's your name? What is it? Wolf? Yeah. Have I met you, Wolf? I dig your name. Do you do home haunts, Wolf?
We're gonna do one this year, yeah.
And are you the driving creative force behind it?
Yes.
Okay, this is your Willy Wonka moment. You know what I mean? This is the golden ticket, Wolf. Are you ready for this? You're gonna have to have one of your parents come with you. Okay? I'm going to take you and your parents. We're going to give you 2 express passes free for Halloween Horror Nights, and I'm going to give you a behind-the-scenes tour and show you how we do this. Thank you. You're the next generation, my friend. Thank you. They're going to get together with you. They're going to give you what you need, and we're going to show you a good time. Thank you, Wolf. And for everybody right here who's going to take care of you, Mario's going to hook you up. I just wanted to do that a little different this year because, hey, we got to look to the next generation. But for all of you, thank you so much. Thank you for supporting this event. Thank you for being a part of Halloween Horror Nights. We'll see you in the fall.
At this time, we ask that you collect your belongings and make your way out of the auditorium.
Another year is over. The Midsummer Scream 2024. Everyone's pulling everything down. 3 days. I hadn't originally planned on doing 3 episodes, 3 days in a row. But it kind of happened. First day was the show floor, which was crazy, Friday. And then yesterday, which was Saturday, the Hall of Shadows. Great home haunts, great independent haunts, and some major non-independent haunts were also wedged in there. And then today, the Not Scary Farm panel, which I'm really excited about, and the HHN panel with John Murdy. I'm heading out. Till another year. I don't know if I'll be here next year, but I might be. No way of really knowing. But I have been here many, many years in a row. Look at this guy with the pig head right here. It's got the, I think that's supposed to be a pig head.
Ops this Saturday.
Scary Tales of
Very
Mini.
detailed photo ops.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Here you have is that a pig head made out of burlap sack? Okay, thank you. And that's going to do it for today. As far as the panels go, Knott's Scary Farm panel was really good. Didn't really announce a whole heck of a lot. They didn't really unveil anything that was completely geared towards announcements of the park, but always enjoyed Knott's Scary Farm. Kind of fun to sit in on that. As far as the HHN panel, they announced a lot. Texas Chainsaw, which is the 50th anniversary. So Texas Chainsaw, the original film, the '74 film, was released. One of my all-time favorite horror films. I think if you had to say my all-time favorite horror films, would probably be original Evil Dead, George Romero's Dawn, and Texas Chainsaw. And then of course you could add in, you know, 7, 8, 10, 12, 15 more that are kind of like right after that, all kind of in the same vicinity. But I think you think of, if I had to pick my top 3, I would say original Texas Chainsaw. But they're going to have all 9 of the Chainsaw franchise in that one maze. Did kind of lose me a little bit with the slaughterhouse stuff, kind of go into the deep dives, how he's researching slaughterhouses, and kind of went into all of that. I was kind of thinking, hopefully the maze itself at HHN is not going to be as intense. Maybe he just, because John Murray doesn't go to a lot of detail of what stuff is going to be like, and sometimes when you get there, it's easily, you can brush by it very quick, and I'm hoping those scenes are not too intense, as he was kind of mentioning, but I am looking forward to seeing, you know, the Sawyer family, Leatherface, and the cast of characters from not only the first one, the second one, the Tobe Hooper movies, and then after that, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I believe it is. There's been a whole heck of a lot of them. The Hitchhiker as well, and then the guy that Bill Moseley plays when he's got the little scratch thing on the head, that character. And then the luchador masks, which are kind of like almost like knockoff Universal monsters. They didn't call it the Wolfman, they didn't call it Frankenstein, they didn't call it the other characters, but basically that was what the rendition was, coming out of one of the mazes on the upper lot on French Street, which was pretty cool, and get to go in the sound stage that a lot of the Universal monsters were filmed at way back in the day, and they're going to have the female versions of the Universal monsters. Really looking forward to that. So excited about HHN, and I know usually they announce stuff here. They announce 3 different things here, but I think the next couple days probably on social media, you know, Universal Hollywood will be announcing some things. So again, thanks for watching the videos from Midsummer Scream 2024. 3 videos in a row, 3 days in a row. I am Midsummer Screamed out, but I am looking forward and I'm excited about haunt season. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. The vlog is over.